be kind to yourself.
And her final tip, be kind to yourself. But really what she meant is, Coach Greg, and today's video is on Abbey Sharp. She just released a video. It's called The Weight Loss Video I Never Thought I'd Make. Sustainable nutrition tips. So in general, Abbey Sharp is more of a dietitian that's not for losing weight. She just wants you to accept your body, be happy with what you have, and just go about your day and be happy and just eat whatever. Don't vilify food, just eat. So maybe Coach Greg's finally influenced her enough to make this video. As you know, we had the trilogy back in the past. She critiqued my diet, but here she is come full circle. She's full circle. She's a circle now, helping people, explaining what you need to do to lose weight. So let's go through this 30-minute video and condense it into the tips that you need to know to lose weight.
Tip number 1, think about what you can add, not what you should be taking away.
So can you imagine if tip number 1 would have been get Coach Greg's cookbook? I mean, that would be amazing because that's probably the most important step of all.
My colleague and friend, Greg Doucette, author of the new book.
So tip number 1, think about what you can add to your diet rather than what you can take away from it. Fruits and vegetables, things that are high in fiber, have lower calories. You add those to your diet, you're going to be less hungry and you're inevitably going to eat fewer calories. So rather than just thinking, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, oh my goodness, I'm on a diet, no more carbs, think, I get to eat this. I'm going to add these items to my diet, and those items are going to help me lose weight. So by adding fruits and vegetables to your diet, you're going to be more full, and when you're more full, you're less likely to binge and you will lose weight.
Most of the fad diets out there focus on eliminating certain foods or food groups from our diet.
If all you do on a diet is say what you can't have, I can't have carbs, I can't have this, can't have that, I'm vegan, I can't have meat, I can't do that, eventually your diet's going to come to an end, you run out of your willpower, and you go back to eating the foods you stopped eating. So rather than thinking of what you can't eat, think of what you can eat, enjoy that, and get the freaking cookbook because you get to eat all the recipes in the cookbook. You add some of those recipes to the diet you're already eating, you're going to lose weight because they're lower in calories. You're going to be full and satisfied. And so even if you eat the other foods on the other meals, you're still good because most of the meals that you're eating are lower in calories.
My long-term subbies know I'm talking about fiber, protein, and healthy fat.
And tip number 2 is to eat foods that are going to curb your hunger, like healthy fats, protein, and fiber. If you eat these meals, you're going to be more full. And when you're full, guess what? You don't eat the other foods. If you start off by eating ice cream, you can eat a lot of calories. But if you eat low-calorie dense foods, foods that are high in fiber, high in protein, healthy fats, you're not going to eat as many calories from the bad stuff. And I know there's no such thing as bad food, but you know what I mean. Foods that have a lot of calories, highly palatable foods that you can overeat on, they're going to lead to eating too many calories, which is going to help you to gain weight, which we don't want. Tip number 3 is to dress up the naked carbs. And so take bread, for example. Not that bread is necessarily unhealthy, but if you dip it in egg whites and cook it, make it French toast, it's gonna have extra protein. Add some fruit and vegetables to it, it's gonna be healthier. So rather than just eating foods that are plain, add some goodness to it. Some whole foods, some healthy foods that are full of micro and macronutrients. Instead of eating bread with butter, have a sandwich. Fill it up with lettuce, tomatoes, chicken, some lean protein source, and it's going to make it healthier. By taking foods that aren't inherently healthy on their own and adding other foods to it, you can make them healthier and bring it into the circle. Maybe you're overeating calories with your bread, your rice, your pasta, but if you add things to it, add protein, fiber, vegetables, things like that, you can make the foods healthier, lower calorie dense, and allow you to feel full.
Slow down and tune in. Eating slower was associated with eating less.
People are rushing through their meals and they're not giving their bodies a chance to be full. It takes approximately 20 minutes. So if you slow down how fast you're eating, your brain has time to catch up with what you've eaten. This is one of the reasons I really strongly suggest you try popcorn. You know I eat Smart Pop popcorn all the time, averaging 3 bags a day. Why? Because it takes a long time to snack on popcorn. If you're eating popcorn for 30, 40 minutes straight, your brain has time to register that you've eaten some food and it says, hey, you've eaten enough, it's good. Versus if you eat chips, Doritos, you can eat an entire bag in 10 minutes. Your body hasn't even realized how many calories it's consumed. Not only that, popcorn so much lower in calories in comparison to chips. So in the end, you end up not only consuming fewer calories, but you also are full in the process. And Abbey says to tune in. In the real world, that tip's not really going to work. How often are you watching a YouTube video, watching a movie as you eat? She's saying, just eat and only eat. I rarely just eat and only eat. When I'm eating, I'm watching a YouTube video, I'm eating popcorn, watching a movie, and isn't that what you want to do? Do you really want to go to the movies, order your popcorn nachos, and just eat that before the movie starts and focus on the food? You probably want to enjoy it while watching TV, aka the popcorn. Just don't throw a bunch of butter on it. Make it low-calorie popcorn, not skinny pop. That's loaded in extra fat and calories. So be careful and choose healthy, low-calorie snacks. Like in my cookbook. You get it? Like the cookbook, low calories and you're full.
Meal prep. Because we're not great at making mindful decisions when we're ill-prepared.
And unlike what most people think when it's meal prep and you have 20 different Tupperwares full and your meal's laid out, I don't do that. I never do that. Never. It's not a thing. I cook in bulk. So for example, if I'm eating chicken, I'm going to cook 10 chicken breasts and then it's sitting in the fridge, and then with that chicken, I can do various things with it. I could eat it in a wrap. I could make a sandwich out of it. I could have it on the side of rice and peas. I can cut it up and make a stew out of it. You cook in bulk. When you cook vegetables, rather than making one serving, cook the entire bag. Have it sitting there. You can add it to whatever you want. So for me, meal prep isn't having 20 Tupperware meals pre-planned for the entire week. It's about having healthy foods that's already cooked to save you time for when you decide to have whatever you're wanting to eat at that next meal. So bottom line, when you cook your food, cook it in bulk and have leftovers and eat it as you see fit. Do a fridge and pantry makeover. And she's saying, no, that doesn't mean to throw out all the crap and all the stuff. And I'm thinking, yeah, that is actually what you should do. If you have a bunch of junk food in the house, it's highly palatable, delicious foods that are trigger foods that you can't control yourself around, why do you have it in the house? Is that not like being an alcoholic and having a bunch of liquor ready to drink at any time? Does that make sense? So my advice, lose the highly palatable trigger foods. You don't need them. Am I saying you can never eat them? No, but it's best to eat them away from the house. I have certain foods that I love. Ice cream. Not a smart decision for me to have ice cream every time I open the freezer. I have to tell my body, you shouldn't eat that. I don't want that. So instead of ice cream, I have frozen yogurt bars, 100 calories, Greek yogurt ice cream bars. So think of how much smarter it is to plan around your trigger foods. Choose the healthier alternative and have that available. Also, I like this advice. She says, make the healthy foods that you have more visible. So in the front of the fridge, when you open the fridge, the healthier snacks are there. So if you do have the more junky snacks, make them harder to get to. Hide them behind something. The ice cream in the freezer that you want, and put it in the back of the freezer. And if it's in the deep freeze, put the ice cream at the bottom and put the frozen vegetables on top so you don't see it all the time. And the food in the pantry, the chips and stuff, top shelf. Maybe you need a ladder to get to it. If you're short like me, you can't just reach that. So it's going to be a barrier that prevents it from being an easy grab. You open the cabinet door and you're hungry and you see a bag of chips. How easy to say, I just can eat one. But you know you just can't eat just one. You know you can't. You're going to eat the whole bag. Same applies to me with cereal. I open the drawer, see the cereal. Allie wants cereal. I eat a handful. Before I know it, the entire box is empty. Be careful. But if I want cereal, well, I'll go to that restaurant, I'll have it on that day. Or maybe once in a while I'll have it on occasion. But I'm not going to have it always right in front of me. The sugar-laden cereals that are a trigger for me, it's not a smart decision to have that in the house.
So I think it's a really common piece of diet advice to not drink your calories when trying to lose weight.
Her next tip, not to drink your calories, but really, we're not saying not to drink almond milk or regular milk. Almond milk has healthy fat, and regular milk, it has a lot of protein, but what it means is sugar-laden drinks. Regular pop, juices, orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, these have so much sugar. Sunny Delight, the only thing healthy about it is the color. It looks like the sun. It's not healthy. So just because there's a little bit of vitamin C doesn't mean it's healthy. Eat the actual orange. Have the apple, the grapes. Don't drink juices or too many calories. So rather than that, have diet drinks instead. Some people are going to tell you artificial sweeteners are bad. Oh my goodness, so dangerous. Carcinogenic, probably get cancer, kill you. Not the case. The evidence doesn't support that. The FDA, before approving these things, they analyze these studies and they've set certain parameters. It's safe up to this much for the rest of your life. For most people, around 30 to 50 cans of Diet Coke a day. For the rest of your life, that's about a safe limit. So rather than drinking regular pop, drink Diet Pop instead. And no, I'm not going to argue with you and say, oh, water's not as good. And no, I'm not arguing that water isn't healthier. Water's healthier, of course it is. But I don't want it to ruin my life. I don't like water that much. I want my Diet Pop. And if Diet Pop curbs your cravings, prevents you from having something else that's sweet, it's going to help you to eat in a calorie deficit. So please, consume your diet drinks in moderation. No calories, no problem.
Be kind to yourself. Think of this journey as a marathon, not a sprint.
And her final tip, be kind to yourself. But really what she meant is, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Weight loss should not be done as quickly as possible. The slower you lose weight, the better. And why? Because when you're in a small calorie deficit, it's easier to not only keep muscle, but to build it. Also, you're not going to starve. You're not going to be as hungry. You're going to have more energy, better sex drive, libido. All these things are going to be improved if you're in a small deficit. If you try to make weight loss a race and you starve yourself, go on a crash diet, not only are you going to lose muscle, you're going to have less energy. You're going to feel like garbage. It sucks. And sooner or later, your Will Tennyson's willpower, it runs out. You go back to your old ways and you regain the weight, often even more than you did in the first place. So please try not to lose more than 0.5 to 1% of your body weight a week and keep the weight off for the long term. If you're having troubles, I really think you should get one of my cookbooks. I have 3 of them. They've all got a proven track record, over 2,500 testimonials. Thousands of people have sent in before and after transformations, and not only do they lose the weight, they keep it off. Why? Because it's a diet they can follow for life. It's the forever diet, the circle diet. It doesn't even feel like you're dieting. You're eating foods that you enjoy every single day. Delicious foods, keeping you full. You're not getting the cravings you ever had. How many times have you dieted in the past and failed? You've regained the weight. It's not your fault, it's genetics. Genetics making you hungry, starving, too many fat cells, too much ghrelin, wanting to punch you in the face, making you eat. But with the cookbook and the low calorie, filling meals, massive portions, low calories, you eat, you're full, and you don't need to keep binging. That is why you lose weight. You're in a calorie deficit, not hungry, satisfied, and you can do the diet for the rest of your life. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. The bloopers are over there. Watch one of the bloops. Don't forget, buy the freaking cookbook. And I have coaching plans done by me and my team. Trading books. Everything's for sale with Coach Greg. And until next time, I am out.
With my colleague and friend, Greg Doucette, author of the new book,